What's happening, everybody? My name is Jay Chase, and I appreciate you watching my videos. I'm going to say that throughout the course of my life, or at least the last 20 years of my life, I've had a lot of people experience some of the things that I've experienced, and we would trade stories, and I get a lot of people that tell me that I should write a book. I grew up in the 80s, the 90s, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and I lived the life, I guess you could say. I didn't really conform to normal life. I kind of did whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I have done, I guess, throughout my life. So I'm going to talk about one thing each time I make a video, a memoir, if you will. What do you call a video memoir? Is that a vlog? Am I a video blogger? Vlogger? Well, alright, so I want to tell you a story. This is back in the mid to late 80s. Springfield, Massachusetts. I grew up in Wilbraham. I was going out with a girl. Her name was Anna. So, Anna and we decided that we were going to go to a Rush concert, and the tour was the Rush Hold Your Fire tour. 1988, maybe? Rush had the red album, got the three little balls on it. The opening act was MSG, which is the Michael Schenker group. For those of you who really like music, Michael Schenker is the brother of Rudolph Schenker, the guy from the Scorpions. Okay, so whatever. We were kids, 14-ish, 15-ish. Neither one of us had a car, and neither one of us had a license, as far as I know. So we had to make a decision on whether or not whose parents were going to bring us and whose parents were going to pick us up. I think my parents brought us, and her parents picked us up. She had a really cool mom. I never really knew anything about her dad. So I asked her, do you want me to bring any weed? And she said no, she'll take care of it. Fair enough. That's somebody you marry. I missed out on her for sure. So we get to the show. MSG starts. Great band. It's probably 25, 30 minutes through the opening act. It's about time that they're going to stop. Intermission's going to come on. They're going to change the stage. And Rush is going to come on. So I decide, hey, let's smoke that, joint, whatever you got. And for those of you who know me, one joint at a concert is not going to do it. But this was a long time ago, man. I was a little kid. So she breaks out this one joint. And you can tell by the way that it was rolled that neither one of us could roll back then. Somebody knew what they were doing because they rolled up a nice, a finger joint. And so I remember lighting it. This is during intermission. MSG had just finished. So this is during intermission. We're smoking this joint. And I remember it. I remember the taste. It was absolutely incredible as far as the taste goes. A little piney. Man, I wish I remembered what kind of pot it was. But anyway, I don't remember putting it out, roaching it, clipping it, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember. I don't remember finishing it. I don't remember taking more than a couple of hits, actually. So, intermission is over. Rush has started. And I was standing there looking forward at the stage. Now, I was seeing Rush but I was not hearing Rush. I was not hearing anything. I think that I was in a coma on my feet, and I was drifting off into coma land. Well, I wake up, and Anna, she's pulling on my pant leg, and I look down, and there she is. She's completely on Springfield Civic Center floor. She's laying on the trash, the soda. God knows what she was laying on. She was laying on, and I figured, okay, shit's getting real. It's time that maybe we get off of the floor, go take a seat, sit down, for the rest of the show. I had to carry her. She could not walk. So I ended up getting over to the seats, and we had great seats. So we were sitting down. Now, if any of you have ever been into a stadium, a civic center, a theater, when you're sitting in the seats, the people that are right in front of you, their heads are right in front of your knees. You know what I mean? They're right there. So when I go to a show and I'm sitting down in the seats, and if I'm smoking, the person that's sitting right in front of me, I'm blowing every hit I have on the back of their head. I'm sorry to say. So I bring this girl, Anna, I bring her to the side of the Springfield Civic Center. We're seeing Rush. We sit down, and the first thing I remember is the people behind me are smoking some wicked good hash. Back in the 80s, there was all different kinds of hash. You had black hash, you had blonde Lebanese, you had some green shit that was going around. There was a lot of hash that was going around, and I remember whoever was sitting behind me was blowing their hits on the back of my head. And I was looking at the stage, but I wasn't hearing Rush. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was complete zombie from the however many hits I took off that joint from earlier. And again, I had completely fallen asleep, and my eyes were open, and I was looking at the stage. I woke up, she was pulling on my sleeve. Shit. We had to go get something to drink. We had to step outside, get some fresh air, and so that was it. That's my story. So me and an old girlfriend, Anna, went to go see Rush and Michael Schenker at the Springfield Civic Center somewhere in the mid to late 80s on the Rush Hold Your Fire tour. I asked her if she wanted me to bring any weed, and she said no, she'll take care of it. Then when we get there, she's only got one joint, and I don't remember smoking it. I took a couple of hits. It was so good, but I missed a lot of the show. That's a story. I got lots of stories, and I don't know why I'm sharing. Just think it was funny. We had some really good weed back in the 80s. So I got a lot more stories. This is my very first story. I got lots. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, man. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I got so many stories to tell, and I'm going to tell them right here. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you later.